Hello and welcome to our today's stocks.com interviews with CEOs of public companies. I'm Natalie Stoberman and I'm joined by the CEO of Green River Gold, Perry Little. Perry, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Natalie. Nice to be here.
Amazing. Now we have some big news coming out of Green River Gold. There were some samples that came back from a big project that you have out in Quenelle BC. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, this is a pleasant surprise to us. It started happening a few weeks ago. We went out there originally looking for gold, and we knew there was the potential on one end of the property for some other metals. Way back in the 1980s, there was a bunch of work done on a talc deposit, and talc is kind of an unusual mineral. We'll get into that in a little bit. But we decided that with a bit of spare time in our hands, we would go out and drill just using a backpack drill and see what we had in this talc deposit. And it was interesting because when we did a mag survey on the entire property last summer, and that's a UAV mag survey, they fly at treetop level with instruments on the drones, and they pick up the magnetic signature of the property. And it became clear that where we expected to maybe find some nickel, it actually extended a lot further than we thought. And then it might actually be in this talc, which seemed very odd because talc is like soapstone. We sure didn't expect to find nickel in soapstone. So we had to go drill this and just find out what the heck we had. So we went down with this backpack drill. We could only go down about 60 feet or so, but we turned out to have quite a bit of nickel in it right at surface. So we're at 0.18% nickel over the first hole. We'll have more results out in about 2 weeks on some of the other holes, but everything was very similar. We shot it all with an XRF gun, and they're not dead accurate by any means, but the results were very similar on all of the holes. So we expect the assays will probably be consistent when they come back.
And that's very interesting because it was kind of like a surprise in a way, but you couldn't have timed a better surprise with the demand that's out there for nickel and magnesium, especially with the demand of batteries. So where does Green River Gold see this project going?
We will be drilling deeper within a couple of weeks. We'll have picked up because we have a shop right in the vicinity. One of our big advantages is locality. We have a 6,000 square foot shop right in Quenelle, so only a few kilometers away from our project. So we picked up a winky drill that'll go down about 400 feet. So we'll be drilling that right away and seeing how deep this thing actually goes. Hopefully, we're still in talc when we get to the down to the 400 feet limit of this drill, and that'll give us a lot of idea what we have here. The talc deposit has been traced out over about 1.4 kilometers. It may go further. It's hard to tell. You can see outcroppings of it visibly over that period. And there's not a lot of outcroppings in the Caribou where we are because the glaciers deposited a lot of gravel and kind of buried the hard rock underneath it. So we were fortunate to have outcroppings that allowed them to discover this in the first place. But it could be fairly sizable. The magnetic signature is way larger than that. But whether it's all talc underneath there, I have no idea. The nickel obviously excites us, being so close to surface and 0.18%, which wouldn't have excited people a few years ago, but it sure does now. And
Oh, absolutely. Especially all kinds of electric vehicles are coming out. Everything is going electric, which can be a very good thing, but definitely a very good thing for you guys at Green River Gold. So what are the next steps for this project now that you have a basic idea of what you can be mining in Quenelle?
well, right off the bat, we're going to be drilling those deeper holes. We're hoping to do 3 of them over the next few weeks, and
Mhm.
we'll drill those right in the vicinity of the short ones, the shallow holes that we drilled. And then we're going to develop the plan from there. We've already got some ideas on where we'll go next, but we're shooting a mag survey right now. It's odd. We shot most of the property back last summer, and there was a portion missing because we had optioned a piece of the property to another company for a short while.
Mhm.
That ended up back in our lap again, so we got to reshoot that part of it, and that will fill in the blanks and give us an idea where to drill deeper holes, assuming that we're still in talc at 400 feet. So
Mhm.
we'd like to get out there and drill a bunch of deeper holes this year, and that's really the game plan, and to determine just how much of this stuff we have. It could be fairly large. The actual magnetic anomaly covers, about 20 square kilometers, and it's sort of long and narrow. as is this talc deposit. So we are just in the very early stages of finding out what we have here. It
Mhm.
could be a lot, and it's right at surface, which is exciting as heck. So right now it's all about proving up how much we've got for size,
Mhm.
and we're going to follow the. I sound like Dr. Fauci here, but we're going to follow the data, and yeah, I'm a little taller than him anyway. But I think what we'll do is these next few holes are going to determine a lot in terms of where we go. The mag survey is being shot starting almost right away, and that we'll have those results in early June, and they'll kind of
Mhm.
fill in the blanks. But it's pretty obvious if you look at the maps that we put out in the last press release, that purple area, which is the highlighted sort of magnetic area, sort of surrounds the
Mhm.
entire blank area, so you can kind of fill it in your mind. And
Right.
there's some old mag results from way back when that indicated there'd be stuff there as well. So, but it was
Very
pretty
cool
prim.
pairing. I'm going to
Yeah.
interrupt you because you're giving me a lot of gold here. I'm mining for answers and you're giving me gold and I'm loving it. But the thing about mining is that there's so many different layers to a single project. And while this is exciting, when can you really like start to celebrate or really take stock in the promise of a project? At what point can you get there?
I'm already doing it. Um,
Okay.
with the historic work that's been done, which is it's sketchy. It's a piece here and a piece there. This is really an underexplored area, but everything we see seems to be lining up with this being a fairly significant size. And we've got an interesting situation. If I can divert here a little bit, we have magnesium. Magnesium prices right now are quite high. So when you do the math on it, if we're 18% magnesium, with magnesium sitting at about 5,600 US a ton, it's about $1,000 US a ton just on the magnesium. The nickel adds another $60 US a ton. So I mean, this becomes incredibly good math. But magnesium prices took off like a bat out of heck last year and then sunk back a little bit again, but they're still very high.
Mhm.
So if we were focused solely on magnesium and the magnesium price collapsed, it would be scary. Ours is kind of interesting because the magnesium in ours is in the talc. So talc is basically, by definition, it's magnesium silicate. So if we have talc, and we know we have talc, then we have magnesium. Uh, Talc itself sells for about $270 US per milled ton last year. That's what it averaged in the US. So if the magnesium price were to collapse on us, we could just sell the talc. We don't have to try to take the magnesium out of the talc. So we've got a fallback product if the magnesium market ever goes so. And talc's kind of an
Like
interesting.
win-win.
Yeah, it gives us a bit of a backstop, a secondary product, if you will. If magnesium prices stay high, then obviously the economics would dictate try to find a way to get the magnesium out of the talc.
Right.
Um, Talc kind of an
So,
interesting material. I should just tell you,
mhm.
it basically gets used in all kinds of industrial applications. It is the source of talcum powder, which people know, and which got a bit of a bad
Mhm.
rap from Johnson and Johnson. But talcum
Yeah.
powder is a very small part of the picture. Most of it's used in ceramics, plastics, all kinds of industrial uses, paint, plastics, pulp and paper
Mhm.
processing. So it's a valuable commodity on its own, but it doesn't trade on a spot market. It's all by contract. So it's an interesting animal, but it gives us a fallback position, which I like. So
Yes, and having fallbacks are very important to have, especially because we never know what the prices are going to be like from day to day. But there's also a very big fallback in the mining industry as a whole in Canada, with the Canadian government basically giving a huge boost to the industry with about $3.8 billion to at least build mining in Canada over the next 4 years or so. How does that have an impact on Green River Gold moving forward?
I think it's going to have a huge impact in terms of our ability to raise capital. I was a broker for about 25 years, and I was an accountant before that, so I did a lot of tax-driven uh, um, investments, so an awful lot of flow through partnerships, that type of thing.
Mhm.
So we're quite conversant with the rules on flow through, and they just enhanced the flow through tax credit. If you're out there looking for any metal in Canada and exploring, you qualify for a 15% investment tax credit, but they just enhanced that by moving up to 30% if you're looking for critical minerals, which include nickel and magnesium. So any exploration we do on this portion would actually qualify for a 30% credit, which means that somebody buying, if they're in a 40% tax bracket, and by the time you deduct the Canadian exploration expenses and then get the credit, you're getting back 70% of what you put into it. Somebody in BC be getting more than that because of a provincial credit. So it's it'll make it a lot easier for the industry as a whole, specifically for us in this circumstance to raise money for exploration. We love it, and it's nice to see the government throw some money into the mining sector. Also, there's going to be grant money available, I believe, for, I'm not sure what the details are going to be. We will be looking at it. I know they've made some money available in terms of support for the sector above and beyond the tax changes. So yeah, we'll be out there looking for whatever government support is available. Why not?
Why not? But that's what it's there for. But it also seems like the Canadian mining industry has been growing as of late. Like your project is in Quenelle BC, but where are the other hotspots in Canada for mining, and how has that been growing over the past decade or so?
Geez, Canada has so many provinces that are very open to mining. And very positive for it. Quebec always seems to rank up there as one of the top jurisdictions. Manitoba, I know personally of a lot of projects in Saskatchewan, and they get a lot of support there. So this country is chock-a-block full of minerals. I grew up in northern Ontario on the North Shore of Lake Superior, and we were a pulp mill town, but it was all mining all around us. So it's. I think countrywide we're in a mining boom, and hopefully the provinces pick up on it as well and start putting some support in here. If we're going to produce enough nickel and lithium and cobalt and all the metals that we need to build all the electric cars they're planning, I think the governments need to step up, put their money where their mouth is, and it's nice to see the federal government doing that.
Oh, isn't that the truth? Well, Perry, thank you very much for giving us the down low on this new project in Quenelle and how that's going. How can the community be able to stay in the loop with the next steps coming out of this project?
Well, we should have some press releases coming out in the next couple of weeks. We'll have some more assay results coming out. We'll also announce once our drillers are actually up there on the ground. There's been a few fits and starts trying to get that to happen, so I'm not going to pre-announce it. We'll wait till they're actually up there and the drill's turning, and then we'll have a steady flow of information coming out over the next few months. So there'll be a lot of news releases. We have a few other irons in the fire too, so there could be more news coming. But yeah, we'll be keeping everybody up to date, and I frequent as many sites as I can. So anybody who wants to see my screaming skull can always find me on a video interview somewhere.
Then we're going to have to chat very soon with the next steps and the big updates coming from this project. I look forward to it, Perry.
I'd be happy to be back. Thank you.
Anytime. My pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your day and best of luck in Quenelle.
Take care. All the best. Bye-bye.
Bye.